Trying to get my pin in my hair.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your girl Mac, and honestly, this is my first time actually doing something like this.
For a long time.
I really wanted to start my own YouTube channel, but not in a way where it's not always tutorials like a couple that you've probably seen already, but
Sometimes I feel like God.
God is telling me, like, look, I'm putting you through these things so that you can tell people about these experiences. And the more that I put on you, the more you're going to have to talk about it at some point. That's what me personally, I feel like I've been told repeatedly by the universe.
And I don't really.
Talk much about that type of stuff because I know people be like, oh, she's like a spiritual type of person. Like, I am, but I don't want to push it on people so much to where there's a disconnect.
I had to give
Self reasons to make
this channel, even this video. You don't know how many
rocks mentally I had to push in order to
be able to just.
document this moment right here, right now. There's literally so many experiences I have on my phone at this point that I need to clean my phone. There's too much. There's too many videos in my phone that it's really starting to drive my phone nuts. So the universe is telling me, tell your stories. My phone is telling me, girl, what are you doing? All you do is film and take photos of stuff. When are we going to be put to use? So I have a lot of books. I have like a lot of sketchbooks. If I could just show you how many sketchbooks I filled up since my car accident a couple years back, it's pretty serious.
At some point, you're
You're
going.
going to think I'm a hoarder because of how many books that I have that I have not shared with anyone. But I've reached that point where I understand now how important it is to document wins in your life. Even with when people want to put you down, you just gotta push through and put that somewhere. It's like when you have an idea and you put it on paper. I had to go through my gallery and really figure out what am I going to put out, what's going to be the next big thing. And I just realized how much pressure that was on myself. I put so much pressure on myself before I allowed the world to give me pressure.
I feel like
As
as
humans, we are our own worst critics.
we could also be our best. And honestly,
I
I don't.
don't know how this video is going to come out when I finish and have to go edit it,
But I know that.
but I'm called here for a reason to share my experiences. When I had my car accident back in like 2022, it wasn't like my life flashed before my eyes. It was more like I blacked out. I kind of like took a nap, but of course I lost consciousness. It wasn't like my life flashed before my eyes or anything. Nothing special happened. So clearly, it had to be that
I was here for a reason. And even back then, I was missing.
missing in Reno. Not a lot of people know about that. Not a lot of people know that I was about to end up like those missing black girl stories that you see on the news.
And it's not fun.
It's not. I'm super thankful. I'm super thankful, like, that my mom came out of her way to come get me, even when, with all these other this nonsense that we were going through. But that's another story that I'll put in another video because there's just so many experiences I've had with so many lessons I feel would help someone. Like, the people that I'm around, I feel like they look at me and they're like, you're such
Should tell me that is that not.
common sense that you're supposed to not do that. And I'm like, nobody told me. You didn't tell me. So how am I supposed to know? So there are experiences where I had to learn the hard way. But
I learned my lesson.
at the end, it wasn't like I have this problem forever. It was a matter of,
Here's the problem.
let's go through this and we'll figure it out. And I'm super thankful that I have the ability to create. I paint, I design, I sketch, I tell stories. Shout out to my dad. He is an incredible storyteller. He is always making comics. And if you're curious what his work is like, I could link that in the description, along with some other gems I'll probably drop here and there. But growing up in LA has really taught me a lot. Moving out of LA, you just gave me a whole different book. I feel like that's what the universe gave me, was a whole different book leaving LA. Growing up there though, it wasn't like I didn't know what kind of place I was living in. Like my level of awareness was so down. It was so crazy. Hold up. Honestly, my level of awareness in LA, I wish I dug more deep into myself. But with all the chaos and everything around me going on, I really didn't know how to focus. It always felt like there was one obstacle after another. I still endured things like everyone else, but I didn't realize or really understood why people from all over the world moved out there until I got older. Just little sprinkles of that here and there. From my time being out there, a lot of people ask me if I went to school. I went to Palisades, the place that recently got burned down. But we had buses that came from all over like different neighborhoods from across LA, and we all met up for school at this one place, Palisades. And to this day, I'm super thankful for that. I'm thankful for my mom putting me in that lottery because she did not want to see me going to no Inglewood High where we had gang violence and all this other BS going on. I begged my mom to like, I wanna do hood rat crap with my hood rat friends, and she was like, nah, we're not tolerating that. So that's when my art really flourished. I took every art class throughout, well, not every art class. I took an art class every single year from beginner's art, which was super boring. Oh my gosh. I'm like pushing out the memories right now as we speak, just pushing them back in my art consciousness as far as possible. To, you know what, let me write this down. I'm gonna start on a fresh page because your girl be writing. Okay. So where we left off was going to Palisades. I got most of my art education from there. I didn't even know what acrylic paint was until I went there. The other schools that I went before, back when I was living in Gardena and Inglewood, oh my gosh, just saying those words just take me back. But elementary school only taught me so much. They had pencils, pens, color pencils, markers. I'm grateful for that. And then there was middle school. That was middle school is never fun. I guess from my experience, I don't really have much memories even though I lived it. I don't know if anyone else has felt the same about that, but even with middle school, they didn't really have an arts class. I think like they never had a reason for that. But we did have a teacher that would come in. I think her name was Miss Sandifer. She had like this type of voice. Only way I can remember her presence, she just had like gorgeous hair. It was like nice and wavy. She had a curvaceous body that I wanted to have when I grew up back then. But seriously, I could say I kind of saw some of myself in her, like growing up. And I'm super grateful that she took the time to even teach us what she knew. She taught us perspective, 3D shapes. Look, I'm really trying here to like, I'm really trying to remember what she taught us. She pretty much taught us the fundamentals. There's grayscale. So that was middle school. For her, we had her like 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I'm gonna just put that 2 to 3 years sounds about right. The rest is just winging it. I remember my dad would just come home with all these books. All these books. It'd be sketchbooks, art supplies.
Don't ask me how he.
got it, but he always found a way to get it for me. But deep down, he wanted me to succeed. Also, too, if you happen to start seeing like these animals or these one-eyed characters, I'm working on this series right now. It's called Buns and Bliffin. You can say it's a series surrounded by things inspired by my life and experiences. And I'm thinking it should be under my brand Suplexity. I think, don't get me wrong, but like,
Oh, don't even get me.
started on how I lost my account last year back in December. That was gruesome. I hope no one ever experiences that. It was such a drag, which is like part of the reason why I started this new YouTube channel. Pretty much all my stuff got messed up. Another fun fact about me, I like to write and draw from right to left, like manga style. I mean, I am part Asian, but only lefties will know this. When you start to write out your drawings, your letters, it starts to smear on top of your hand. And I'm like, no, this is my book. And this is how we're going to read my story. And if you got anything to say about it, you could take it outside. This is Lefty Land. This is also a YouTube channel where you're going to learn what it's like making art from a lefty's perspective. I have many stories on that. Where was I going with this? Pretty much the series Buns and Bliffin is going to be under my brand Suplexity, where you might see like all these cute little strawberries. And I know a lot of people ask me about the strawberries, but just to give a quick overview, I just love strawberries. You know, there's this event called the Strawberry Festival. Takes place in Oxnard every May, I believe,
In Oxnard, California.
California.
And I guess
You could say that was one of my inspirations. There's also this artist in Melbourne, Australia. Their name is Shoe Draws. You should definitely check them out on Instagram. And I actually found their book the other day at a Dollar Tree. But they too also influenced my drawing style.
I'm so glad.
I got that book.
I also like to write.
People's stories. If you ever see me out with a giant sketch pad, like best believe, you'll probably see me just capturing a scene or trying to understand people's stories. I really think one of my biggest struggles is articulating my words and my thoughts and how I process things. That's why I come to my sketchbook because it helps me visually communicate with other people, whether they know English, Spanish, drawing. People see it as like mindless doodling. I see it sometimes as a means of survival. So whenever I teach kids, I feel like it's very important that they know why you should journal. It not only gets the thoughts out of your head, but it also helps you bring awareness to your mind, body, and spirit. If you want to go there, that's just a little bit about what I do. Is there anything else that I wanted to address in my first episode? This is going to take a lot of editing. I'm ready for it at this point. Alright, so I'm aware that it's late as hell now. My phone ran out of storage. Yet again, just giving you live update. That's how you know I need to start really doing some cleaning. So if you see me starting to post more in like these random outbursts of posts, so my bursts of posts,